Hey y'all, good news. October 6th, the box just showed up. It's Tuesday. It came a day late. I mean, at first we thought it was coming Saturday. I thought, if they're shipping it on a Wednesday, Saturday is only 3 or 4 standard UPS ground. It was way too quick. And then, of course, it updated itself and said it would come Monday the 5th. And then, yes, after sitting here all day, cleaning the go-kart and getting other things ready, trying to burn time, they rescheduled again from 2 to 6 today. So here it is. It's 4:45. So it was between 2 and 6. Again, they made me wait all day. But we had a whole bunch of other things to do. We worked with that second set of wheels. We finally got where we welded up the valve stem that was on. This was actually the outside wheel, right? We got that fixed up. So these are holding air now. We'll be able to test the thinner wheel, which makes the tire taller. With the old set, of course, we got the new set too. We'll take along with us. We're going to take them off and balance everything and index them so they can just be thrown right in place. Got to change brake pads on there yet and put the more mild gold pads back on. Those red pads are just too aggressive. So we'll get all new brake pads before Daytona and a bunch of other work. We may have to get rid of these tanks. I don't think we're going to hold enough fuel to go 45 minutes with 2 7-quart tanks. So, we had the old aluminum tank. We may have to just go buy some aluminum and use the old new welder and rig us up a new tank. So plenty to do, but none of it needs to be done before testing. We will go ahead and get the engine mounted. We got cleaning up motor mounts and stuff. We'll get her out of the box. We got to put we're going to put the 30 millimeter intake back on. And to answer Billy's question, Wild Bill, he's the man. I was just talking to him about 10 minutes ago. He says, quit screwing around. He sent me a text message that says, quit screwing around with Yamaha junk and start working on the important stuff. So I thought, wow, man, has he got a satellite? Is he looking right in here? Because I went ahead and I tried cleaning up this head, this old beat up old head, and it wouldn't clean up. So I put a little spray bomb on it. We'll go ahead and clean up the edge of the fins, and they'll be shiny aluminum, and it'll look like the old RD stuff, right? The old RD street bike motors and stuff. So we'll go ahead and bust this thing out. We'll get the 30 millimeter intake on it and see. I just went through the whole carburetor and took everything apart, made sure it was good and clean, got the right break-in jets and all that stuff in it. The reason, like I told Billy, I'm not going to go right to the big carburetor is I never dynoed this engine. I don't think we ever saw the full potential of this engine either. I think the best it ever ran was the first time I ran it when we turned those laps over at Nelson just to get a few laps on a new track. That was as the motor was shipped. All I did was change the ignition timing. I retarded the ignition timing to the setting that Wally Wallen told me to set up the stock standard analog straight line ignition for the KZ to make it work. We learned that. We did that with the old motor and it ran really good. So that's all I really did. We didn't cut the head. We didn't change the squish. We didn't jack the cylinder up. None of that stuff. And I think it's about as best as it maybe ever run. But, of course, there was no ambulance there, no corner marshals. And he told us, don't kill yourself, man. Just take it easy. You can get on it, but don't go hog wild. Don't go 10/10 because there's no safety apparatus here for you. So, yeah, we're gonna throw the 30 millimeter carb back on because if we don't have any dyno comparison, we'll at least have seat of the pants comparison, right? We'll have lap time, we'll have RPM, we'll have shift points, and the old last resort seat of the pants feel. Does the motor feel faster, better, whatever? It's worth it to me to use the whole test day if I have to. Just getting the thing tuned in with the little carb, even though we don't intend to run it, and the stock pipe. But what we'll do is we'll take the that SSE 175 pipe, and we will cut it and fit it to the cart, and Rich will weld it all together, and it'll be ready to go. And we'll probably take the big carb, right, that we've polished up and got ready, and the intake, and we'll set it up. We'll get another cable housing on. We'll get a hold down like this at the other end. you know, where this one goes right in the top of the float bowl carb, it's literally going to have to come past the carburetor and back towards it the way this thing needs to be set up for throttle, right? You see what's going on here. It turns backward to open up the throttle, right? You follow? So on the Honda, you know, the cylinder would be here. It was a piece of cake just to make a, you know, you could grab any bolt and just make a hold down and put a brass brake line fitting on it. But see, now it's going to be this way, and it's going to be pulling toward the motor instead of away from them. Well, it was actually pulling toward the motor on the Honda too, but the carburetor was on the back, and now it's on the front. So the cable's going to have to come in and be held down here, and so we need to work that up. Can we do? Absolutely. We got plenty of time. We still got a full 2 weeks before we need to start thinking about putting this stuff in a trailer. So, yeah, we're gonna go crazy and get as much set up. So we're not just going to break the motor in and run it and get a seat of the pants feel and be done. We're gonna try and do as much as we can, especially if it's a nice day. If it's a nice day, we'll run right to the end of the day. I'm gonna go get a full fresh can of C12. We'll burn it all up if we have to. It's new rod, new everything. Going down to Daytona with 4 or 5 gallons of fuel already run through this thing, I'm completely at ease with that, because we know from the past, all that new, tight, fresh doesn't go fast down there. It needs to be free and loose, man. I don't know why, but it does. So that's where we're at. We're going to get the motor mounts cleaned up. We'll get the motor out of the box. We'll get the big carb intake off of there. We'll get the little 30 millimeter intake on. We'll prep it all up. He sent me notes on all the specs. Probably send him another note before we bolt the motor on the car. We probably won't do that till tomorrow. But send him another note tonight and ask him if the specs he sent me were rebuild specs that we should shoot for when we put a new piston in or rebuild the crank, or if they were the specs as it was shipped. And if they're one and the same, then we're all set. I won't go back in, other than I'll check the timing. I'll make sure the timing is still set the way I had it. But other than that, we'll throw a wrench in everything and make sure the head's tight and the jug's tight and all that stuff. We'll even probably throw a pressure check to it just to, I mean, it's all new. It hasn't been run, but just in case, just to make sure there's, nothing trapped underneath the gasket or something somebody overlooked. We get an air leak and burn the darn thing down. So, that's it for the 6th. Big video. Hey, Billy, hang in there, buddy. They caught fire over there at Blackhawk with the brakes on their twin. I can hear Gary now blaming it on the springs being removed from the brake system and stuff. You need to tell Patrick to quit dragging his foot on the brakes, man. Hang in there, Billy. Hang in there, y'all. I'm praying for you. It'll get better. Merry Christmas, Robert.